Z for emoneywizard.com and marketwizard.com, reminding traders to use risk capital they can afford to lose. If you play this game, you're going to get beat. The question is, how badly do you get beat? You're going to take some body blows. You're going to get knocked out of stops. You're going to guess at the wrong time. And truthfully, the trades you really don't want to take are probably the ones that work the best. So let's take a look, because this was a great question that someone asked. So now what? Now what do we do? In my response, and again, I'm recording this because I think this is a common problem in the business where certain trades present themselves with better odds and you pass on them because you're just afraid of them or you're sleeping or whatever. So we're always in a position to try to guess what's next. This is like, a cocaine addict where you're never satisfied. It's always about what's the next trade, and I continue to say to traders, all you need to do is find one good trade. Now, my belief is that currently we are testing this 82 to 81 to yesterday's middle 80. This is the primary target, and that was a trade that I had suggested way back when, 7 o'clock in the morning, say that I think we can come down and test. The weekly chart tells me we could probably come down and test this 82 to 81. The actual target would be around 80. So the question remains, and which way are we going? I want to trade. I want to make some money. And if you take in that trade earlier, and if you were around for it, there's no pressure on you if you have a trailer and if you've already locked something into this profit zone. Typically, this is an area that I want to make sure I'm paid if I'm coming down, because it's a very big area for the boys to try to defend this 82 to 85. And if they don't, then it tells me the door gets open to the 75, 78 area. So first things first, you got to get by this if you are a short. So we look at these lines up here. This tells us here's our, based on a 5-minute chart, here's a support idea down here. Here's a resistance idea. And we are playing in this range. That's all we know right now. If we look at the chart that we had looked at a few minutes ago, this chart tells me that we could come down and test this line right here. So the best odds really aren't shorting right now. It's actually trying to play against this grain. And if the trade doesn't work, then okay, you're wrong. But this was the target. Once this area started to let go, I said, all right, 92 resistance. Maybe we can get to the 82s to 81s. So right now we have a shakeout of all of the lates who bought thinking early it was for up, and we're retracing yesterday's move, trying to find support. The true support on this chart, like for a position trader, isn't until here, at this low right here. That's our last known support, right down here in this 72 area, 72 to 75. So we already know momentum is coming down this morning, and that needs to get reversed and have the big boys start to support this, because the little guy isn't going to make the market move. And this whole big bar yesterday is being explored right now, and this was a fast up yesterday afternoon. So all we're doing now is a retrace of that. So can you short here? You can short anytime you want, but the odds are nowhere near as good as the odds we had when I'd said earlier, let's use 92 for resistance and try to see if we can get back into that 82 to 81. So that trade idea is done. And a lot of traders think that, you can just keep firing away trade after trade after trade. When right now, first question I have to ask you is there an angel? It's a lucky guess, an educated guess that this is yesterday's middle and needs to try to hold. But so far, we have not had an angel that is stuck, right? This first bar has got its low taken out. So all we have is a neighborhood that says, okay, probably better odds buying than selling here if you're going to do anything. And I keep reminding you, you don't have to just trade for the sake of trading, but you're looking for high odds trades. Typically, a half gap trade is a high odd trade. So right now, I've made the suggestion to use 78 stop if you want to buy against the push down. And if you enter into a trade here, it's going to take time for this to develop and for this to beat these traders that have been sell, sell, sell. So on any one trade idea, Don, the question really becomes, is this for your account, is this a trade that makes sense? Do you want, and there's some traders who will come in and take a trade and look for 2 points, but they'll trade big and they get the 2 points with a lot of contracts, they're happy. You know, most traders, I would think, in this room are not that type of trader. And you're going to spread your trades out and you're going to not bet everything on any one trade. So the problem today so far for the long side is we have been making lower lows and lower highs, which I had observed way back when. So the very first opportunity I see for better odds is coming back in and getting that tad lower. Doesn't mean trades won't work, but you can see the lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So right now you're fighting that pattern. And this is where truly a trader who has a trailer is in better shape than a guy who's just trying to guess, because there's been no evidence of an angel. And here's that 80 target, which should be yesterday's middle. And this line, bingo, right here. We'd identified this target earlier at 79.5, would be a 20-point trade. And on this chart right here, that's this line we said could be the target. So my targets already for the day, short side, have been hit to get to 82 to 80 and good fortune below. And this is a day probably that a few longs will get stopped out early and then we'll get a little bit bounce later. So anybody's got the 82 to 80 targets, lock it, and there's good fortune below. And if you're conservative, you're not going to jump at just closing your eyes and buying. You're going to wait for a setup. This was the chart we had looked at right here. I said this could be the target line right here. So all I know to answer your question is when a body is in motion and still coming in motion, you are looking for that to continue until you get some type of a setup, a reversal where this thing holds. So I'm already confident that the best trades short are done. Even if there's another 25 points, the best odds trades are done short side. And I know that's not the answer you want to hear, but it's the best I can do right now. So anybody wants to buy using that 78 idea, give it a point or two. And if you can get a point or two, great. And I'm thinking that this is fairly neutral. And I'm thinking that this is a good spot to take some profits if you are short. That doesn't mean it has to work as a buy, but it certainly means that as a short, you want to capture those targets. And today we can go any place. because it's Friday, and obviously some traders are going to want to capture profits. But my idea is if traders capture profits early, then it leaves the market available to bounce a little bit later. And I still think that, as my last post in the room was, that okay, it looks to me like the real key now is going to be that 89.75 scene of the crime. So I just thought that today, looking at this rain line, that we had the shot to get back down into this core zone, 85 to 80, and that's been done. So next trade idea, sometimes you got to wait a while and see if you see somebody being squeezed, or if you've got profits this way and you want to risk, then it's easier to take a shot and say, I'll risk a couple of bucks going the other way now. And I said, this is a very narrow range overnight. So it's right now you can't expect a big plunge either, because typically we'll get a bigger range overnight. So much better odds trying to go this way, but not to try to take out the high, just simply to get a few points in a range type trade. And this chart right here is probably the best chart that we came up with to understand, well, that's going to be about a 20-point drop. So maybe this is a spot to make sure you're paid coming here. And it's so easy in hindsight, but those are things that you have to look at. And, that's why I got the circle here to to say, okay, well, that's a range. That's a 20-point range. So anyways, pre-market, I said 78 support if you're looking to buy. So you got about a point or so risk back there if you're trying to buy, and trade comes back on, you just scratch it. Hope that helps.